a gust of wind rattled the maple tree, spraying burnt orange across the yard and pelting the side of the farmhouse. The air was still and warm, but dark clouds on the horizon promised cooler temperatures and rain. "Well, it's about time autumn arrives," Martha said. "I, for one, am ready for chilly days." I took a sip of coffee, then looked over the rim of my mug, holding in a smile. At 45, Martha Mast was nearly 15 years older than me, but I still considered her my closest friend. She was more opinionated and louder than the other women in the community, and she didn't much care what the others thought. Being a widow and having married off the last of her 4 children at the beginning of summer, she had a lot of spare time on her hands to sit on my porch swing and keep me from my chores. Autumn is my favorite time of year, although I am not a fan of raking leaves. Martha's rosy, round cheeks puffed out with her scowl, making me laugh. Then, the gulp of my coffee went down the wrong pipe and I began coughing. "Do you need assistance?" Martha set her cup down on the floorboards and started to rise. I held up my hand and managed to say between gags, No, I'm fine." A moment later I had recovered and could talk normally. "Martha, you do this every turn of the season." Martha's brows lifted and I added, "Welcome the warmer temperatures, or colder ones, then immediately complain about it." Martha made a huffing noise. "It was an exceptionally humid summer, I think. Wouldn't it be nice to have pleasant days like this, without the constant wind or falling leaves?" I shrugged, then carefully sipped my tea. "There's always good with the bad. The Lord never sends us weather we cannot withstand." We fell into silence, and the wind lessened to a stiff breeze. The horses grazed in the nearest field beside the road, and where James had already plowed under half of the garden. There were still a couple baskets worth of late-growing tomatoes that I should be picking right now. Only then I could begin canning them. But it would have to wait until morning since my limbs were tired and my mind was restless. No matter how many times I'd thought about rising from the rocking chair to shoo Martha on her way, I couldn't find the gumption to stand up. Phoebe was still napping, and Martha didn't seem in a hurry to leave. Josh and Sarah wouldn't be home from school for several hours. I surveyed the jagged hills in the distance and sniffed the air. The signs were all there. The trees were awash in splendid colors, and when I inhaled, the earthy scent and damp earth and decaying leaves flooded my nose. We were only a few days into October, and I already dreaded the fast-approaching snow and ice of winter. "Bah!" Martha swatted the air with her hand before using it to smooth a few loose strands of her chestnut hair back into her cap.